This is for the trailblazers, the curious, the creators, those who are willing to blaze a new path for the next generation to come. It's for the new rule makers. We are creating a movement of new rules makers who are actively rebelling against the status quo of our lives, the status quo of our communities, the status quo in corporations. We are actively rebelling to write new rules, to create new ones so that next generation that comes behind us, that they can have faith, they can begin to see, they can begin to look and to manage and say, I can do that because someone was willing to go. See, we are living in times today where we have to be willing to write new rules. Because so many people I come in contact with allow things of their past, they allow other people's opinions, they allow what culture and society says and their deeming of success to dictate their lives, the rules that guide them. But we are living in a time to not mass produce individuals, but we are uniquely created to do meaningful work here on this earth. But many times we unfortunately never find it wise because we allow old rules to guide and to dictate our lives. In a world in desperate need of bringing people together, we are looking in what the world is searching for people who will show them a way in what we are doing and what you're going to do and what I'm going to do is create a movement of people who will show them that way, a third way, a willing to write new rules. But in order for you to break out of that box of those rules that are guarding you, those rules that are dictating, you must be willing to be courageous because you're going to have to go to uncharted territory that you have never gone before. But you must be willing to be courageous because everyone's going to say you should not do that. There are going to be naysayers, there are going to be doubters, there are going to be those very close to you saying, don't do that, you should not do that. Don't you know, listen, play it safe. But if we're going to write new rules, if we're going to push in a different dimension, we have to be courageous. The reason why I want to write new rules is because the greatest new rules writer was this carpenter from Nazareth. This man that rebelled against the system. So much so that he had his own moment on top of this mount where he begins to push against the status quo of culture, where the establishment had ruled with their old rules. He decided to step in the middle of all creation and to say this point that I'm going to write new rules. There is a new way that things can be done. He has shaped the history of the world because he was willing to write new rules. He was willing to have an active rebellion against the status quo. And let me tell you this, we can create that movement. But here's the question. Are you willing to join me?